more thoughts on heading to Bemidji to close out the regular season? You guys are locked into fourth. Obviously, though, there's pairwise implications. As a coach, what are you looking for out of this final regular season series?
Just keep getting better. There's a lot of hockey left in front of us. So while it's the end of the regular season, we have a lot of goals beyond that. So we want to keep improving and get better at the areas that we can still get better at, and focus on those things and just take it one day at a time.
You're probably going to see another tight defensive quarterfinal series against the St. Cloud or Mankato. Bemidji is a pretty good test of a team that loves to play tight, checking defensive hockey, right? Yeah,
I feel like this whole month has been that type of hockey, and it's been, I think we get a little better at different areas each time we do it. And I thought our game on Saturday against St. Cloud was really good, strong, finished the game off the way we wanted to, got our chances when we did, whether, power play or empty net goals, however we need to find ways to win. I think we did a good job of that. And so that's where we want to continue to build. I think, January, we were scoring a lot more goals, and the teams that we're facing now are really comfortable playing in the D zone, and they make it incredibly hard to get to loose pucks and find those shooting lanes. So I think it's a good test, and it's preparing us for that first round, like you said.
I think we talk about it. You don't see, minus, I think, your game against Harvard last year, you don't see a lot of goals once you get to the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Tighter defensive hockey game.
Yep.
So this past month, you think you've prepared your team well for what you're going to see when the postseason comes?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think so, for sure. I think, really good teams find all different ways to win. And if we can score more goals, that's great. But if we need to win 1-0 games, we need to be able to figure out how to do that. And so I thought from Friday to Saturday, we got better at that. And then, got rewarded with that empty net goal too.
You kind of doesn't have really impact on receiving. Do you try anything different, or you just kind of stick to what you've been doing and what's doing well?
Yeah, it has an impact on our national pitcher, and that's really important to us. So we're going to continue to stick with what we do, and getting better in the areas we want to get better at, and feeling good about the stuff that we've been working on. So there won't be any massive shakeup with defensemen playing forward or anything weird like that. So it'll be more of the same, but hopefully just better.
You talk about fine-tuning some details, maybe a little bit more just specific on your team to really, check off the boxes this final weekend of the regular season.
Yeah, well, as goals get harder to find, it's just figuring out different ways to score them. So not always looking for the, backdoor tap in to be available, but gritty goals, finding ways to score under pressure when you have a lot of people on you or near you, getting your head up, finding shooting lanes. So a lot of skill work, as well as, puck protection, because these teams are really good. When we get the puck in the O zone and we're F1 on it, they've got a D on your hard, and it's physical. And, how do you maintain possession against that physicality? And so working on some of those detailed skills has been our focus.
Nice. And then working on some of those detailed skills as a coach, how do you implement that at practice, maybe drill wise, to get that, as close to the game situation as you can with, the tight check?
Yeah, it's been fun. I like the practice plans that we've had this week. I feel like we've honed in on those things and brought out some new drills, some drills that we used to do maybe earlier in the season, just to get back to some of those fine-tuned skill areas that we work on usually earlier in the season.
For those being down 3-1 in Mankato, that weird reversal Saturday, that the way it felt like it took an hour and a half to figure everything out. How do you feel your teams handle these adverse situations in the second half of the year?
Yeah, really well. I think our leaders, our experienced players are really showing the way with that. Any time in the past before coaching challenges came up, we'd say ready for anything, during those timeouts when the refs were in the box and making decisions on plays. Either way, it could go either way. And that's really always been our mentality. But, like you said, this year, there are more coaches challenges, more stoppages, more waiting to see what could happen. And usually it seems like they're pretty significant moments in the games, and we just stick with it. And we don't know what the outcome's going to be, so we have to be ready for any situation.
The expanded challenges in you this year, has it had the effect you thought it would have? Has it been maybe not as bad as you thought it would be? How's it gone? You think this first year?
Yeah, well, my feeling on the challenges moving away from the refs and more to the coaches wasn't, I wasn't in favor of that because of our limited cameras, personnel on the women's side. It's different. You know, we are not the NHL with all of those resources. So to put it on us to make a lot of those decisions, I didn't think was best for our game, but so be it. And I think we've done pretty well. I think video coaches have become way more important. So if there are D1 programs without video coaches, that's a big problem. So we're lucky, and I think the stoppages have been fine. People talk about the pace of game, and that doesn't bother me.
Well, then maybe you get Kelly back.
Yeah, huge. I think, you guys know we're big on setting our offense through the middle of the ice. And, we've been so fortunate to have Gabby Hughes center that first line since I think her first year here, and then following up with Mannon for the last, I want to say 3 or 4. And then, Kylie has been in that spot too for a long, long time, but she spent some time on D last year for us. But it's the stability that we need to be successful at this level. And I think she's just under not valued, but you just don't see her all the time. And when she's gone, I think people notice, like, oh, lines look a little bit different in the way that they play. So she just brings stability back to our lineup and does so many little things that go unnoticed for our team.
Or Emma, the shutout records, I did the math on it. She's got this season 1 shutout in every 3 games.
Nice.
In her career, 1 shutout in almost every 4 games.
Wow, that's great.
That consistency, what do you see as the key that's allowed her? I think going into the season, you look at, wow, she needs 10 shutout, 9 shutouts to tie the career record, and to, get the single season record. That's a lot of shutouts.
Yeah.
But she just seems to be pretty darn consistent.
Cranking them out. Yeah.
Cranking them out.
Yeah. Well, I think she's an elite athlete. I think the way that she approaches her daily work is very unusual in comparison to people I've coached in the past, like the way she battles with her teammates and gets under their skin and forces them to make really good plays to find the back of the net, and the way they rib her back when they do score, like that kind of stuff may seem silly and trivial, but it's really important when it comes to routine drills that goalies sometimes find boring and don't really pay attention. She's paying attention because she's keeping score. The way she thinks about her teammates and wanting to make them better and offering ideas to us coaches. It's just at another level. So it doesn't surprise me. I think, the shutouts are amazing. And it's also the team in front of her, as she would say. The team defense is really taking a lot of pride in trying to put those zeros up on the board. So it's been a fun one for her and our group. She is one of the best puck handlers out there, so I'm surprised she doesn't have more.
I got one more for your thoughts on Naomi Brody, head coach for the Duluth High School girls across the team.
I didn't know. No way. Did that hit the wire today or what?
You may have got someone.
Inside scoop. Amazing. Those kids are very lucky. They have a really good person and coach. I think, was it last week's press conference? I was telling you guys about how she helps us out there with drills, and she's tight on the rules, so she'll make sure things are dialed in. That's awesome.
Fun to see some of your former players go on and coach whatever, like Graham's coaching.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Maddie, Sid are all doing coaching. Is it fun to see kids go on and do that?
Oh, it's awesome. It's fun to see, but I also think, like, wow, those kids have an awesome role model to look up to. So good for them for giving back. But I think the experience that the players get from being around such quality people and high level athletes is awesome.
Like in the Ohio State series,
It's tough. I was surprised with the results last week with Wisconsin. So I don't know. Might be a split.
The interesting thing of Minnesota, like you're in, we're helping for them, but it could depend on who you face. But once you get there, which you can't look at it.
You're talking NCAA tournament or final face-off stuff? Final face-off. Yeah, it'll be interesting this weekend. Yes, we shall see. We'll play it, any one of them. We know we're facing one of them. So unless there's an upset before that, but yeah, it should be interesting.
And after Mankato and St. Cloud, you obviously need to score a goal or two.
It would be nice. Yes. That is the key to the game.
You getting tired of 0-0-1?
You and me both, John. You and me both. No, we're okay. If we have to win 1-0, then we have to get used to winning 1-0 too, and be able to lock the gates down and stay sharp on our defensive end, even though we're not giving up a lot of shots. It's the way the games are right now.
Can we use that for, say, the last couple weeks?
Tight games.
1-0.
That's right. Yeah, it's all been our strategy. They're due tomorrow. Due tomorrow.
I'm wondering where, based on that.
It's so weird they don't do it.
They don't
Have the last series.
Well, no, because they're due tomorrow.
That's amazing.
Tomorrow.
So
And they vote on a Sunday?
I don't know.
Yes, it's on the time.
All I know is I have something due tomorrow. I'm gonna end this.
I'm
I'm gonna end that. Oh, no, sorry. I didn't end it. I was gonna. We still have.
About this weekend, how do you overlook the team? Your team has only had 5 wins while making sure you guys take care of business closing out your season and knowing that there's a bigger picture ahead of us.
Yeah, I don't think we get caught up in what their records are, or what, too many stats. That's for the media people. We just want to keep getting better and keep working towards our ultimate goals. So these are important games for us, and we understand that.
What was this past weekend like, especially facing horrible?
JoJo on Friday. Yeah, it's always a little weird, frankly, to play against somebody that was on your team before. So glad we won the shootout there. And then Saturday, I thought was a really good game. A bit of a slow start on Saturday with the 4 shots in the first, but really started warming up in the second and the third, and found that power play goal when we needed it, and then got the empty netter. So I think really good, managed the pressure, managed the tight game better than we did the night before. So that was good to see.
And something that you guys have made such a pillar of your identity for the season has been your adversity, especially in the first half of the season. Also this season, you just said you had a tie game and a 2-0 game. What do you feel like is your pillar now entering into the conference game? Do you feel like it's still that adversity?
Well, I think adversity is always important. Overcoming adversity, right, is critical. But I think experience is where we will shine here in the next few weeks, because as the pressure goes up and the games become more important and every shift feels like it's really important, I think, we have a locker room full of people that have been there before. So maintaining composure and not getting too high, not too low, those sorts of things will be critical.
And have you given yourself a chance to reflect as your shining seniors? This past weekend, I know Kelly has the beautiful article and just all of them, the impact that had on the numbers and stats, but we know that it's just more than that. But did you give yourself a moment after this weekend to reflect on that?
Yeah, a brief moment during their video presentations, and just, the amount of things that Fleisch had to read about each kid. And then, then hearing their academic accomplishments, it's just a good reminder of how impressive a group these guys are. And, some of them came in different classes, but when you put them all together, it's pretty special. And, I talked to them before the game about, leaving a legacy, but it's not done yet. So a lot of the stuff that you celebrate on senior days is from the past. So we're still working on what the final legacy will be.
So Emma, the coach talked about the team in front of you. Just take us through that as a goaltender, knowing that, your teammates are going to block shots or get pucks out of the zone quickly. Take us through that mentality and how you feel confidence-wise, but also you got your teammates in front of you back.
Yeah, I feel like I've said this a bunch of times, like our whole team just like buys into the concept, like everyone is willing to sacrifice themselves and their bodies to like keep the puck out of the net. So it's just like they've been showing this from the start of the season, and that's why I am so confident that they will have my back when I need to, because sometimes as a goalie you might not be in the right spot, but then I know I'll have my players there to make the save for me.
You talk about individual stuff is meaningful for you as team stuff, but shutouts are a team stat. You said before. How proud are you of hitting a mark that you did already this season and the career mark as well?
Well, I mean, it does show that our team is strong defensively. And I mean, it's a fun stat, but at the end of the day, we haven't won anything from it, like there's still the end goal of a championship, but I mean, it's still exciting to show, to know that our team can shut out other teams.
We talk about players trusting their goaltender. How much do you trust the players in front of you? It's not just that you're not allowing a lot of goals, I give up a lot of shots here.
Yeah, I have 100% faith in every player on our team. Just like with how we are as a group, there's I have 100% trust in them, and they show that to me every day. Practice, games, they're always there.
It's your mindset of kind of about that, so it's big one, and kind of looking for those, being that skater and one-on-one kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always found it enjoyable with shootouts, but it was not until Mankato weekend was my first college shootout. I haven't done one yet until my 5th year here. Yeah, I think so. So, I mean, it's fun. We have a little showcase every Thursday practice where upperclassmen goes against underclassmen. So it's fun and we practice it, and I just enjoy those moments.
How do you manage your more talks about all season about not being too high, not being too low? Sometimes you guys hit over bottom of their own team, but I still think the WCJ is going to be. So how do you manage to do that?
Yeah, coach kind of touched on it. We don't really focus too much on who we're playing. What matters is our preparation, our routines. That should be the same no matter what. And I think that helps with that consistency of not making a game bigger than it is or smaller than it is. Just locking it in every time we hit the ice.
Is there anything specifically you guys want to lock into this weekend as you close out the conference?
Just I think we talked about last week, and being control the puck plays and making sure we take care of the puck, not throwing it away, because we want to possess the puck as much as possible. So just being, when you're making a pass, just make sure you hit tape to tape and small details like that. One, Germany, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, every time we went into a 3-on-3, we always ended in the 3-on-3. We never went into the shootout. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've always, from the start, you've always said that shutouts don't matter winning the game. And it's a great thing to say, and it sounds like good scripted things, but it really has helped you, because if you're really concerned and you really want to get that shutout, you couldn't possibly have better stats. You know what I mean? By trying to win the game and not worry about the shutout.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if I were to focus too much on that, I was oh, I need a shot, then you're more likely to make a mistake. I'm trying to do too much. So that's why I'm trying to keep those things aside, so I can just focus on one save at a time and not worry about if it's a 1 on the board or a 0 on the board.
And it doesn't matter really. I mean, you can't help the team score. I guess you get more assists,
Yeah, more assists maybe. Yeah, I mean, it keeping not letting in a lot of goals obviously help us in the game. So that's the benefit of it. But for me personally, it doesn't matter as long as we win the games.